Marijuana stocks like Sundial growers are wilting today. This is out of yesterday, but the stock market was down pretty heavily yesterday because I guess there's a country called Russia that is invading another country called Ukraine. This is what happens when you make cannabis illegal. You turn into Russia. And so anyway, it's not a very good time for speculative investments, according to Motley Fool. Marijuana stocks are just getting kneecapped, is what they call it. And so Canadian companies, Canopy Growth was down 3% yesterday. Sundial Growers was down over 1.5%. Let's see here. Charlotte's Web Holdings shed 6%. Curaleaf shed 6%. And this Hexo, is that an actual marijuana stock or is that an ETF of it? But if you want to see who's been losing money, go check out the marijuana stocks. They're almost at 52-week lows.
To me, that seems like a bad choice if you're an investor, right? Like, even though all the World War III might happen sooner than later, cannabis has proven to be a recession-proof stock. So, I mean, like, why are you, like, even though the law is still not 100% there, the momentum, the toothpaste not getting back in the jar, why, what are we doing? Who are you fooling?
Right.
And again, though, a lot of these investors throwing money at horrible cannabis companies, and it's like a boat. You just got to keep throwing it in there until, it absorbs it, I guess. I just don't understand why.
It's not all gravy. It's not all gravy. I mean, you can just see an ETF on the cannabis stocks. Here it is, the Advisors Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF. That is ticker MSOS, and it is down from 1 year. It's down quite a bit. Like at the high of MSOS, like last year was at 47.90, and then right now it's at about $20. And so year over year, MSOs are down a little bit more than 50%. So, hey, maybe it's a good time to buy some cannabis stocks because how low can they go?
That's true. I mean, what are they pulling out so they can invest in Raytheon?
No, it's just a lot of the market has gotten hurt lately, but cannabis stocks were just shellacked all later half of last year. And now with the types of legalization that's contemplated on the East Coast, not in Illinois. In Illinois, cannabis stocks up because there's only 4 of them. But, it's just a lot of the corporate cannabis names are starting to get less profitable because there's more competition.
Well, and then maybe too, the consumers get more aware of like a lot of these big companies who are, I saw a quoted tweet from, I think it was Chillinois or somebody about what's the company where the CEO, her husband was in trouble down in Florida, the main one.
No clue, dude.
Because he was bragging about how they have all the lobbyists in their pockets and the politicians, but one of the things he says, we don't know anything about growing weed. We don't have to.
That was True Leaf.
Yeah.
We didn't have to know anything about growing weed. We had the Brotherhood and were able to get one of these lucrative licenses and then sign Bobby Tuna to have him go to every old folks home and chill for him. It was brilliant.
Yeah, but it's also part of the problem. I mean, when you have people who don't know anything, and they're also the ones also influencing the regulation. Like, they don't know anything about this. And really, it's not that hard because this plant's been way over-regulated the way it has been. It's not rocket science. It's an agriculture product.
But speaking of agricultural products, there's some news on hemp that has come out. And so the cannabis.net is reporting that high on hemp, not quite, new bill introduced to raise the THC limit in hemp to 1%. Hot hemp is a problem, but this new bill it's called the Hemp Advancement Act of 2022. It raises the threshold of THC from 0.3% to 1%, which would allow for all the genetics to be grown that are truly hemp cultivars. And by that, it's more Dr. Ethan Russo's, who was on the show previously, by the way. It's a great episode. If you guys want to see one of our best episodes, just search our channel for Dr. Ethan Russo. Wonderful. But those hemp cultivars that he talks about, it's the 20-to-1 ratio. And so if it's 20-to-1 ratio and you're doing really good farming and you're getting 20% CBD, you're probably going to be kind of close to a 1% THC.
Have you gone through that act? Have you looked through it?
no.
So I tried. One of our viewers sent it to me, and said, because everything could be questionable. It is questionable, because 1% sounds nice, but I believe there's other components of that bill that tries to all the other cannabinoids, Delta 9 and Delta 8 and Delta. It tries to group them all into one prohibition style. Just because they're deltas, I believe. This is not real science going on behind this. This is prohibitionists and fear mongering. The same people who believe all the memes on Facebook by their grandma are the ones that are like making these rules, right? Because there's no real reason behind it. Why are you trying to group all these cannabinoids together? Why? And again, the prohibition of the plant itself is just not right? It's not based off of science. It's based off of fear mongering.
Well, this Hemp Advancement Act, introduced on February 8th by Congresswoman Chile Pingree, and objectives to improve the provisions of the 2018 Farm Bill and increase flexibility of hemp farmers and processors when producing these products. However, it looks like, 3 potential corrections to the Farm Bill the new 2022 bill would make. And so it's 2022. Farm bills happen every 4 years. There probably is going to be another one this year. And we'll see. But I think the definition of hemp is going to be changing.
Oh, 100%. But how is that going to affect the definition of cannabis too?
Yeah, that's something else. I mean, like a lot of the definitionals that we see in the, because I'm on the ISBA's committee for cannabis law, and you'll see, bills that are proposed that come through, and they're changing a lot of things. Like, what if you had to only have a THC license if you were going to be processing hemp? It's something else.
Well, and I told you about the guy that was out here. They stopped doing it because they got a lot of flack, but they were getting Delta 8 concentrated, extracting it and turning it to Delta 9, and then putting it in our 502 market, which was the legal recreational market. So it was genius, but it's also unfair where, there's a seed to sell process for the THC plant, but yet a hemp field, you can be abundant as long as you just test under 0.03 or whatever, it's
0.3. And so it's 0.3%. And so sometimes some people do say 0.3, and sometimes I hear 0.03 and I'm like, nope, you missed one. That would be 99.97 as opposed to 99.7.
Yeah, I just think it's such a small number that it bothers me no matter how, like Dr. Ethan said, it should be a ratio thing, not a percentage of just one particular cannabinoid. Craziness.
Yeah.
We got some international news.
Do we have international news? I mean, like, have we beaten the dead horse that is this hemp bill to an end?
I don't know.
Maybe we should do something about, like, hey, what do you guys think about the 1% THC? Do you think hemp should be 1%, or do you think that the 0.3% that they just pulled out of their butts in the 1970s is the correct regulation?
And also, too, because with the high percentage of THC, I mean, it doesn't matter. It can still be used for stock, right? It's about how you grow the plant, about the fibers of the plant.
Right. It is. It's about how you grow the stuff as opposed to anything else, but or why you grow it. I mean, if you're growing it for its cannabinoids, should that be just a different regulation than if you're growing it for its non-cannabinoid properties, like its seed or its what do they call it? Herds? Is that what's in the middle of it? The stuff that they use for biomass and for concrete other things, or for its cord? Yeah, for the concrete, right?
Yeah, no, I totally think there should be 2 different laws applied for the intention of its use, right? Because one's going to be human consumption, the other one's going to be, my house or my counter.
Right. It's just the fiber. Cannabis plants are all hemp. Cannabis plants are technically all hemp. That's true. But, laws are weird. They make different things depending on which line you're on. And that line, who made it up? Some guy in the 70s. Did he have any reason for it? No, he did not. Oh, isn't that neat? That's the real world that we live in. And then you can pop this thing way back up then. It's now like people are like getting up to go to the bathroom.
Oh, there you go. It's like the theater.
They're done. They're just checking